Hey Virgos, welcome back to my channel. Guys, if you are new here, welcome. And if you are returning, thank you so much for supporting the channel. I'm going to go ahead and get a message from your ancestors and your angels. Now, this is a general message, so it may not resonate with everyone. Just take what resonates for you, Virgos, and leave the rest. Anybody interested in a personal reading, which will be closing in a few days because your girl is doing some traveling, okay? If you are interested in a personal reading, my information will always be down below. Thank you to those who do reach out for those, and thank you to those who donate to the channel, and to those of you who do subscribe. It's very much appreciated. So I do hope that everybody is doing well, okay? But Spirit, what's the strongest energy here today for my Virgos? What is the message from their ancestors and their angels? I'm hearing, I think this is a surname. I'm hearing like the surname Cunnings. I don't know if someone's like name is Michael Cunnings. I don't know where I'm getting that from. I don't know if this is someone who was actually passed over. But what is the energy here today? Can I get a card for now and a card for going forward? Thank you, Spirit. I kid you. I was going to swear. I was going to say, I kid you fucking not. Didn't I just say I heard someone's name was Michael Cunning? The card says cunning woman. What is this card about? Silent, observant, and willy. Maybe you need to be careful of a feminine energy around you. Now, I just did the evil eye, your evil eye message. And I do remember like the energy of someone with red hair coming out. The fox also came out. To just prove a point, let me just see. Where did I put him? Was it this one? Target, wind chimes, the dolphin, the moon. Yes, these ones. The fly. There's the fox. So let's see what this message is about. Michael Cunning. Maybe your name's Michael. Maybe the initials MC could be significant here. Give me a message. So you have turning over, you have the life bringer, number 35 or 53 could be significant. It does boil down to an 8, which is giving me the 8 of Wands. So there's this energy of moving forward here. It says establishment, it says growth, and it says fulfillment. Nice. Someone could be the life bringer. Go watch the evil eye message, okay? Something definitely could have something to do with a pregnancy, a baby, or just a new beginning. But that came out very heavy in that reading as well. So going forward, we have the sigil keeper. It says symbols, signs, and messages. And I noticed a third eye on her head here. Okay, so paying attention to the signs and synchronicities around you. Now, I'm also noticing on this person, I see a frog. I see like it looks like a snake that may be wrapped around their neck. Okay, I also see like a Scorpio here. I see a dragonfly. What's at the bottom of the deck? The merciful one. Compassion, release, and relief. Yeah, there's something ending here. So let me just get the meanings, okay? Okay, so the life bringer is on page 104. And that does boil down to a 5. So again, there's this energy here of things changing. But there could also be something here about maybe someone who is, I don't know, somehow, some way kind of like competing against you. I'm also hearing maybe trying to bully you in a situation, whether that's actually in the physical or whether that's behind the scenes. But it says About you now, it says ideas and projects are gathering. It says constellations of ideas are birthing. It says your creativity is flowing from within, and ideas are developing in an easy organic flow. For a time, you will be rich in health and love and in physical beauty. It says, while there is much that is new about you, what has already been developed within your world can now be brought to greater fulfillment. It says, so children may begin to mature and grow older, and your ambitions and your dreams may need support to move from the beginnings to become truly established and to make their presence strong and unshakable. Your accomplishments will now be acknowledged. It says respect will be given, and it is overdue. And your contributions and your work will now receive the value and recognition they deserve. This could also mean you are able to ask for more money in exchange for your services and seek investments to develop your business. Your influence, power, and reputation are all growing in healthy, inspiring ways. You feel good in yourself. It says a loving relationship with your body now develops, and you accept and receive loving support from others. It says no more will you receive disrespect, unkind words, it says, about yourself, or the ventures will no longer be tolerated. It says you are growing in stature. Finally, the world sees you for who you are. It says a successful being who has followed their dreams. Definitely go listen to the evil eye message. And what did I say about maybe you having some sort of competition or something like that around you? Let's read this one and see what it says. So I don't know if I said it's a number 38 or 83 could be significant. It does boil down to an 11, which would give me the energy of the Two of Wands or even the Two of Swords, which is what I'm seeing. So I don't know if someone here has been blocked. They're at a crossroads. Okay, Spirit says that you cannot come over here. But it says, maybe some of you have been feeling like you have been facing some sort of blockages or stalemate energy. And it could be that now those energies are going to be removed. So you have, when the seagull keeper comes to you, it says there will be no words. Instead, there will be shapes and signs and messages. Okay, this is making me... Okay, listen. I'm going to read the rest of it, right? But especially if you guys feel like something has been trying to affect you energetically, right? Maybe you've just been doing something, you're just like, this just doesn't feel like me. Something just doesn't feel right. Why is things not going smoothly as usual? Whatever the question is, right? Why has there been a blockage in this? Why is this slowed down? It may not be your energy. So maybe some of you, cleansing is a good idea. But it says, instead there will be shapes and signs and messages. It says a flowing, as though a language of symbols is being shared with you. It says when she comes, it says you are being encouraged to participate in this process by creating and shaping your own magical symbols and begin to consciously choose the symbolic language that you are creating and connecting with every single day. You may wish to find a symbol at this time that represents you and the part of the journey you are exploring at present. It says you may wish to look around your home and see what hidden symbols you have worked their... Look around your home and see what hidden symbols have worked their way into your life, and how you may wish to rearrange these. It says move some, replace others with symbols that are continuously chosen to be of the greatest magical support to you at this time. Look at your clothing. And I said something about a clothing line in the evil eye. This is crazy. So it says, look at your clothing, what you wear, and see the symbolic nature of this. And go through your jewelry and consider carefully the energy of its symbol and whether you wish to connect with this seagull work is simple, but ever so powerful. It says, and this amazing being is a reminder to work with intelligence and to exercise your choice at all times. You must choose carefully now what symbols you keep about you. It says, for they have shaped you more than you have ever truly considered. So I don't know if that's like, I don't know how to explain it, what I'm seeing. Maybe there's certain things around you or that you have or things like that that isn't really serving you, or do you really know the meaning of certain things that you are using or things that you're talking about or things that you are hanging up and having around you? You know what I mean? I feel like it's like that. But take from it what you got from it. Now, the one in the middle, the merciful one, I will read at the end. Let me just find the page so I'm not looking for it. So that is on a page 86 or 68, could be significant here. Or the number 14, which boils down to a 5, the life bringer. So it does say compassion, release, and relief. Once you get rid of certain things, maybe even certain people, you're going to feel lighter. But show me what this is for my Virgos. What is the message from their ancestors and their angels? It's kind of reminded me of, like, I remember like when I was growing up, and I think my mum, right, she always kind of like used to refuse. Was it my mum? Kind of used to refuse like to buy clothes with like skeleton heads on and things like that. Not that I ever knew really why, but that's what it's kind of making me think of. Yeah, and I feel like that's my clarification or confirmation with the advert. So it's almost like I almost want to say as well, be careful of the things that you're kind of idolizing, right? Worshipping. Give me a card for the life bringer. Okay, so I see grounding. Number 432, it says you are reminded of the importance of staying grounded and centered. It says amidst life's ups and downs. It says connect with your inner strength and stability. It says finding peace and balance within yourself. So again, coming out sideways though, you do have a card, and it's confidence. So some of you, I don't know if you are lacking in confidence or self-esteem here, but the confidence card says 909. And so number 99 could be significant, or the number 9 can talk to me about you're almost there, okay? It says things are moving and you need to make a decision. It says act with confidence and take risks. Maybe you need to release, like I said, fear, anxiety. Give me a card going forward. It says authenticity, 787. It says be yourself. It says pursue your passion and show your authentic self. It says don't pay attention to what others are thinking of you. Show me more. What is the life bringer and grounding? What does my Virgos need to know? Give me a clear message. Okay, so I see the 5 of water here. And it says things not turning out the way you'd hoped. It says not seeing the positive in a situation. It says crying over spilt milk. So I don't know if that's the energy of, for some of you, that is maybe holding you back. Because you have the 3 of Wands. It's energy where it's almost like the 5 of Cups. A lot of the tarot cards, you'll see the 5 of Cups, somebody kind of looking down at 3 cups that have spilled over, and they have 2 cups still standing beside and behind them. Right? This is giving me an energy of almost lift your head up here. Because looking forward with the 3 of Wands talks about planning, expansion, growth. Look into the future. If something didn't turn out the way you'd hoped, maybe it wasn't meant for you. Because you've got the 6 of fire here, which talks about victory and success and public recognition, and you being applauded and having supporters and things like that. The 3 of fire says abundance. It says Things look very good. It says have patience at this time. It says make long-term plans. How do you want to see your future? That is where your thoughts should be. Your thoughts shouldn't necessarily be, I'm not saying that you can't grieve over things, right? And analyze things and kind of, maybe even question things here. But I feel like the point is not to stay there. I feel like the focus should be on what can you do now going forward? Because you can't change the past. You can only learn from it. Six of Fire, it says victory. It says good news is on the way. It says public recognition or awards. Six of Fire with a Three of Fire makes the Nine of Fire, which is the Nine of Wands, right? Which is the wounded warrior energy. And the wounded warrior talks about, especially in this deck or any other deck, it talks about not giving up. It talks about persevering. It talks about finding that inner strength and kind of pulling yourself up, okay? And finding that inner strength to say, and almost look back to the past and say, you're not going to stop me. But thank you for teaching me a lesson. Even if it did cause me pain, even if it did cause me heartache and stress and worry. It's almost like all it did was teach you exactly how strong you are. Some of you may have been dealing with something for a long time, because I'm looking for this Nine of Wands and now I can't find it. It must be always, there it is. Okay. Yeah, so interesting. Right, on either side of the Nine of Fire, what it says is don't give up. It says protect that which you have created. It says have courage and believe in yourself. But you do have the Six of Cups on one side of it, which can talk about memories from the past, memories from someone's childhood. It could talk about issues regarding children. On the other side, behind it, is the Nine of Cups. After that is the Ten of Cups. Some of you, there may be something here that disappointed you for some of you when it comes to maybe family. Right? Maybe there was a situation you really wanted to work out and it didn't go in your favor, like I said. But like I said, maybe it wasn't meant to. Maybe there's something greater here for you. But you have to believe. It says your wishes come true. It says concerns fade away. It says a love of a life. So something could have something to do with a relationship. What is authenticity? Maybe you were dealing with people who weren't being authentic. Landing on the Six of Fire is the Queen of Earth, which is your energy, Queen of Pentacles. Yeah, look at this. You got the Six of Earth. So there is some sort of balance coming in, definitely, because behind it you got the Six of Swords, which is the Six of Air, which is an energy of moving to calmer waters, a smoother road ahead. And then you may have love coming in, or something may just put you back in a loving energy. I see a Knight of Water there, and that talks about falling in love. So whether it is falling in love back with yourself, whether it is falling in love with what you do, okay, whether it is people falling in love with you because you're authentic, there's something here where it just kind of feels peaceful. Queen of Earth says make time for those around you. It says take a sensible approach. It says deal with challenges in a kind and understanding manner. Just take it one day at a time. You have the Six of Earth. And it says gifts of money, time, or effort. It says new career opportunities. It says receiving a loan or paying off debts. And then, like I said, you've got things are looking up. It says the end of a difficult situation, taking a trip. I'm hearing everything's going to be all right. Oh, okay. So that's Bob Marley, right? No woman, no cry. Some of you could be single parents. But the Knight of Water, it says falling in love. It says, or a wedding proposal. It says the need to balance emotions. It says an invitation to a social event. I'm hearing that bit from, I believe it's from Forrest Gump. Okay, I don't know why I paused then. It was making me think of the fairy forest because I'm using the deck, fairy forest. But I'm hearing a bit from Forrest Gump where he says, life is like a box of chocolates. You never know which one you're going to get. Okay. I don't know. I just make myself laugh. Anyway. So let us, do we get the other cards before we close out? Let's read this card before we close out. I've got one or two. I want to get you an astrology card just in case that helps you somehow, some way. But the merciful one, it says there is a time to hold on and to endure. And there is a time to open your hands and let the soul fly free. You may be remembering the death of a sacred rite and be learning about the nature of the physical transition that is taking place. So some of you may be going through some sort of transformation. I don't know if the Five of Cups is an energy of maybe you losing somebody that you really cared for. Again, my condolences if that is the case. But it says death is a huge taboo in modern culture. Yet it is a path that is sacred and walked by all of us. It says fortunate enough to have lived. So the merciful one comes forward with love, respect, and compassion. It says to ask you to hold the space for those who are departing and to allow yourself to let go, either of your own self or of another being who is readying themselves to return to the other world. Okay. Now, I didn't see anything like the death card or anything out here, but if this is about someone who is maybe passing away, the life bringer, this could be someone who gave birth to you, a parent. It seems sad, yes, right? With this Five of Water, but this shows that wherever they're going, Three of Wands, number one, there's someone waiting for them. You see that dragon beside that person? But it says wherever they're going, they're heading towards victory. So it's almost like I want to say, yes, grieve for the passing of them, or listen, okay? But also grieve and celebrate the life of them. If this person is passing away or someone has passed away, they will be sending you signs here. Oh, my left ear started ringing. Okay. So it says, where was we? Returning to the other world. It says, this is the card of deep sacred change from one stage to another. It says one form to another, but most truly it is heart. It is the card of letting go and the great mercy that this letting go brings to those of us in pain. It says, and unable to stay as we are. What? It says, the merciful one lifts pain, makes passing easy, ensures we are surrounded by loved ones, and respects the great moment that is. It says, know now that a death of a kind is coming. Oh, okay. Again, right, let's not just go straight to the negative. Learn to look outside the box here, right? What other avenues, what else could this mean, right? It could just be a death to the old you and a birth to the new one. A death to an old life that you know and birth to a new one. But something's coming to an end. So it says, and the merciful one wishes the letting go to be dignified and sacred. It says, so let go. And let an ending continue with beauty, dignity, and mercy. Let me see if I can get a few cards on this. I hope the death card don't come out now. What is this? Merciful one with confidence. And like I said, we do have the numbers 99 here. Okay. So nines, I was saying, is that energy of being almost there. Number 26 could be significant. 62 boils down to an 8. Just give me 3 cards. What is the merciful one? What are we getting stuck on? The Knight of Earth. Oh, and the first thing I heard was a slow approach. You've got the Knight of Earth. You've got the King of Fire. Aries, Leo, Sagittarius energy. And then you have the Sun. Now, Leo energy could be significant, okay? You've got the Star at the bottom of the deck. Now I was kind of asking what is coming to an end. And the first thing I heard with this was a slow approach. Or something may have been a long time coming. Now for others of you, like I said, it may just be, let me focus more on the lighter side of things, okay? This may just be, like I said, some sort of self-esteem or you doubting yourself coming to an end here, right? Because the Knight of Earth says time to buckle down and get things done. It says honor your commitments. It says good Lord. It says a guardian angel. I'm looking over here. Was it this card? And I'm thinking to myself, whoever, if someone is passing away, they're only gonna, it was a star card. I was thinking they're only gonna be an angel of yours. So they're not really gone. Okay, so anyway, moving on. Now, for others of you, where it goes back to your confidence and things like that, and there's something that you've been wanting to do, some sort of action you've been wanting to take, or you know it's just been a long time coming for you to move forward and do something. The King of Fire is about being a leader, right? The King of Fire is about having the confidence. It's about being motivated. It's about being ambitious. It says focus, focus, focus. It says communicate with vision. It says be a leader. It says advice from someone creative. And then you have the Sun card. So again, we're getting a number 9 here, but this is 19. It does boil down to a 10. It's almost like this new chapter brings in some sort of happiness, some sort of positivity, right? The Sun card for me talks about all will be well. But you see how this man is kind of standing on that cliff? It says happy outcome. It says brilliant new ideas that lead to success. It says have confidence in yourself. Some of you maybe are meant to be stars. I remember telling you guys this. It talks about happy times or just healing from things so that you can be more open to the future. Number 17 or 71 boils down to an 8. 8 of Wands, moving forward, gaining momentum, picking up speed. It's time. It says happy times. It says make positive, optimistic, long-term plans. It says you're on the right path. All right, now let's get out your closing messages. Give me one from the astrology. Let's see what would come out of here for Virgo. 3 cards. And it's interesting because I've never used these before. So, yeah, it just keeps making me think of new beginnings. Trying new things. All right, what's the energy for Virgo? One more terrible shuffle. Let me do it on my lap so you can't see. All right, what a lot of cards. What do we have? I just want 3 for my Virgos. All right, we have 2. And one more. And that is not one more. I will not. I don't get paid enough when I'm playing. One more. Thank you, Spirit. Are we taking this one? Okay. So the first one I see, it says Venus zodiac. You could have these signs in your sun, moon, rising, north node, well, or Venus. It says Libra, Scorpio, or Sagittarius. Number 58 could be significant, or 85. Boils down to a 13. Interesting, which is the death card, which is Scorpio energy, but it does talk about endings, right? The death card, endings, new beginnings, transformation, metamorphosis, things like that. So Libra, it says you love sweet romance and want to be swept off your feet. It says when you fall in love, it says you win people over with your politeness and gracefulness. Scorpio, it says when you fall for someone, you act aloof until they share their feelings. It says trust is also very important to you in a relationship, and you find intimacy important as well. Sagittarius, it says you need freedom and excitement in your relationship and are turned off if you are held back in any way. It says having a partner who also loves to travel is key. And then you also have Venus zodiac again, but this time it's Capricorn, Aquarius, and Pisces. It is number 59 or 95, or the number 14, which boils down to a 5, which talks about change. You have Capricorn. It says you take slow and steady steps towards building lasting bonds. It says this can sometimes make you appear frugal and aloof, and can be difficult for a partner who likes lavish displays of affection. You have Aquarius. It says you value your space, but love connecting with people uniquely. It says you may also see love primarily as friendship. Okay. You have Pisces. It says you consider it your mission to experience love spiritually and express your emotions artistically. And then I see third house. So something can have something to do with your third house. Number 82 or 28, but it boils down to a 10. So it says you always have something to say and appreciate that knowledge can open doors in your life. It says you choose your words carefully and communicate purposefully and thoughtfully. It says you are a great communicator and love finding new ways to express yourself through writing and public speaking. Okay. Don't let anything distract you. Okay. That kind of almost gave me, I don't know if some of you want to do something where it represents or it has to do with kind of speaking publicly or being an influencer, or I don't know, writing a book or something like that. But something has to do with the Mercury energy, communication, okay, which is that energy you share with Gemini. And that loud noise just kind of made me feel like, oh, don't feel intimidated by anybody. Don't feel like, oh, because you're starting out new and people may be in the same field as you and, they may have bigger numbers or they may have this. That's their path. Don't focus on their path. Focus on your own. It says you were probably told off a lot in school. It says for daydreaming and finding it hard to absorb information. It says you may have left school early and like to use your words as weapons. It says you are skilled in gaining information from others. So it's really giving me like that energy of the student becoming the teacher. Did I just see 30? No, I thought I saw 34 o'clock. I didn't. All right, so let's get your cards to end out this reading for my Virgos. What does Virgo need to hear, Spirit? I'm hearing something about some of you are meant to be following in the footsteps of somebody. And I don't know if this person did something a little bit unique, taboo. Maybe people didn't agree with it. So it makes me feel like some of you are meant to continue something from your ancestors. But close out this reading for Virgo. Thank you, Spirit. What was he just saying about influencers? Don't go back in, come out, and don't go in the reverse. Give me 2 more for Virgos. And 1 more. Thank you, Spirit. Okay, 2 more. That's fine. Bottom of the deck, you have attract what you want. It says attract what you want by being who you want. Yeah. So we have tomorrow you will be unstoppable. I say, why don't you be unstoppable today? It says you are entirely up to you. Yeah. I'm hearing that song. Life is what you make it. So you have, if it doesn't challenge you, it won't change you. Face the challenge head on. Am I sitting up here saying it's always going to be easy? No. But then you want to put yourself in that energy where, do you know what? I'm hearing when you stay ready, you ain't got to get ready. I'm hearing you was born ready. You was born for this. So don't hold your own self back. You'll never influence the world trying to be like it. Why you want to be the same as everybody else? Be different. Be you. Authenticity. Bring something different to the table, because a lot of you know that you have something different. Virgos, I'm going to leave that there because I feel like I could talk and talk and talk and talk and talk, and I'm not going to. That is what I have for you, okay? I do hope that something has resonated with you. If it has, I do ask that you like, comment, share, subscribe, hit that notification bell so you know when I upload. But if this is where we part, Virgos, stay safe. Love and light, guys.